Let's do a review for the Cult of the Lamb. So, what's the Cult of the Lamb? It's a roguelike survival building simulator. It ain't a pure roguelike, it ain't a pure roguelite, it ain't a pure survival game, it ain't a pure building simulator. It's a little bit out of everything, okay? Game for casual players, mostly. Even on the hardest difficulty, there is challenging combat. Not big challenge, but there is some challenging combat on the hardest difficulty. But basically, this game wasn't even made for that. It was made maybe even not for kids. I would say it was made for women. This game. Women will love this game. It works great on the gamepad also. So let's start with a story. Story classic. You die as a lamb, sheep, whatever, and some occultist cat resurrects you so you can kill others that trapped him. And then after you're done with those 4, you get to pick whether you wanna return that power back to the evil cat, or if you wanna kill him. I killed him. And the game ends. That's the story. It doesn't stink. It doesn't smell well. Writing is occultist humor. Okay, so 5 out of 10 is nice. Bugs and optimization. No crashes, works great. Optimized well. Fast loading screens. No bugs. Very few minor bugs, but it's a new release. 10 out of 10, the game is smooth. It works great with a gamepad also. And it was made, I guess, for consoles, for PlayStation, for Nintendo Switch, and so on. This primary platform ain't PC for this game, even though I played it on a PC. Game time. I finished the game in less than 10 hours. On the hardest difficulty available. I could finish this game easily in 2 hours, if not even faster, on the easiest difficulty. I believe it's a bit overpriced for that game time, because really, if you step on it, you can finish it fast. Six out of 10 for that price. Game difficulty. Even on the hardest difficulty, it was trivial. I did die on some runs, but mostly when I was out of focus. If I get focused, then it gets easier and easier. Okay, if I relax, then I usually die. Where the difficulty lies, it lies in atrocious hitboxes. Okay, this game has disgusting hitboxes. Absolutely disgusting hitboxes. One of the worst hitboxes in a roguelite history, unfortunately. On the easier difficulties, I guess it gets brain dead also. AI ain't bad, but hitboxes are bad. Difficulty, now someone will say how it goes to the building part of the game, also to this shit, how fast you build your, I don't know what, farms, toilets, graves, and so on. You don't need it to finish, but the game limits you to have 20 followers in order to finish the game, so basically you need to build. You can't play this game as a roguelike only. Alright? you need to build and play as a roguelike. There is no only build or only go with roguelike. It's combat. Alright. That's a very bad thing if you ask me, because I don't like this part with building, but I swallowed it so I can do this review. There are better games if you wanna go with building or survival, as there are better games if you wanna go with roguelike combat, especially from isometric perspective. This is a bit out of everything, and at the end, as I said, he died. At the end, as I said, I believe the game is mostly for kids, and especially for women. I guess women will love this game. Those that play games will love it. They're gonna swear in it, but frankly, I see no challenge, I see no difficulty. It's a silly game. Silly game. Only on the hardest difficulty some bosses can be tough. Okay, and that's about it. 6 out of 10. Maps and graphics. Nice art style. But because of this nice art style, the game suffers from hitboxes issues, okay? UI is crystal clear, with those collectibles, with items that you can equip, amount of followers, quests, I don't know what else is there, it doesn't even matter. There are 4 maps in total. They differ with different curious encounters, bosses, mini bosses, and then what was else on those? Ah yeah, and in design, of course, light map, I don't know, autumn map, spiders, and over here I forgot what it was, forest or something like that. It doesn't matter, and then you open up the door for the final map, right? That's how it is. Every door has 4 maps. On a 4th map is a main boss. Those 3 maps is a mini boss. As you make progress, the maps get bigger and bigger. A last map for me on the hardest difficulty was 17 minutes. The first map was 3 minutes. You get the point how it goes in scale. It's not even that long. 17 minutes is nothing. For example, I played Aeterna Noctis yesterday, and one run, successful run in early access, was 1 hour and 20 minutes. Here the last run was 17 minutes. It's a game for casual players. Again, game time says it all when you enter the map. It's trivial. There is maps diversity, but it's a very small game, and art style is nice. And I guess it's gonna work on every freaking platform there is without problems. It's not system demanding game. It shouldn't be with these graphics. Silly graphics. So 7 out of 10 is fine. Gameplay. Now, this is what I was talking about. Let's say it like this. 60% of time will go into organizing your town, your cult, your followers, who's gonna chop trees, who's gonna pick stones. Then you're gonna collect their puke and shit, literally, so you can raise whatever the fuck you're raising up there on the left side, okay, to make it clean, and then down below is food, alright, if they're hungry or not, and their devotion, the biggest circle in the left. Amount of followers 19, below that, and gold, you basically spend 70% of time here cleaning shit, doing nothing. Okay, there is one more part of gameplay, 2 more parts of gameplay. In this village over here you can fish, over here you can gamble, dices, and the rest of them, they're to buy cards, tarot cards, or better to say passive abilities. and active abilities and blueprints. Okay, that will be the world map. Now, as far as combat goes, I said it and I mean it. It's fun for an hour, 2, 3, then it gets extremely repetitive to the point of madness. Okay, even the bosses are repetitive. Every freaking boss in this game, like 95% of bosses in this game, and there's 4 per door, including the main one. That would be 16, 17 bosses in total in the game. Every freaking boss has mobs around him, and that's the cheapest way when you create a game to make a boss fight. Okay, if you don't know how to do it, you ramp up mobs around him, and then the player needs to avoid both mobs and the boss. All bosses act similar. Okay, one melee attack, one range attack, and disappearing from map, then reappearing again while you get rushed by its add-ons, by mobs. Every boss is the same. It's so fucking repetitive. They just look different, but basically they're the same. Every time once you kill a boss, mini-boss, you get a new follower. You can also get a new follower during the map. And you can get resources during the map. With resources you get wood, stone, gold, and so on. You go back to the town and you upgrade buildings, build new buildings, and so on. With devotion here, you can upgrade a level tier buildings. That's about it. Up and down as the day pass. Make one run, build like 70% of time, as I said, is building, cleaning shit and puke. 30% of time is the actual combat. Now, combat is in every other roguelike. Random weapons, random spells. Sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you don't. Depends on what weapons you get and spells. And encounters, whether you're gonna get a heart, blue heart, or not. Okay, on the hardest difficulty, you start the game with 1 heart, and I guess you get more hearts the lower the difficulty is. The game is a bit out of everything, and it's nothing at the end. Okay, it doesn't have any factor in it that's actually satisfying and done to the full. All right, building ain't done to the full. It's simplistic. It's mobile-like. Roguelike elements, they get repetitive, cheap boss fights. Survival, it's there, but it doesn't affect the game at all. It just doesn't. Even on the hardest difficulty, it doesn't affect the game. It's just there, and that's it. Okay. So, gameplay is gonna be 5 out of 10. It doesn't deserve more. Now, we go with leveling and itemization. Now what to say about this part? Your followers can level up, and then when you sacrifice them in a temple, alright, you will get faster progress, basically. Put it short. Ajde zatvori, brata. You will get faster progress. So, zatvori, brata, molim te, ajde da završi. My wife, she doesn't even know what I'm doing. Where was I? Yeah, through sermons, they level up faster, and they give you devotion. With devotion, you upgrade, I don't know what, you take new spells, new passives for building, for survival, and for dungeon crawling. Okay, in terms of these crown offerings, different suits that give different abilities, in terms of these rituals, your followers don't consume food, you brainwash them, you give them a holiday ritual, you give them a break basically so they don't work, you sacrifice them, you scare some get even more devoted, you give them free meal, and so on and so forth. Again, it feels mobile-like. in a doctrine here, you can check all spells and what they do. That will be from that part. From the other part, that is resources, okay, food that you can plant on your farm that I used very little because I was using food I was finding along the way in dungeon crawling. Main currency would be bones for rituals that I just showed, stone and wood to build different stuff, and gold to pay for all of that. That's about it. Items you can find along the way, and you click on any follower here. You go with make demands, and then you give them a gift. You give them a gift, they raise level. And once they level up, they are worth more when sacrificing, or better to say, you progress faster. Alright, now same applies for this thing. Here you get that devotion, and then your buildings are gonna be bigger, stronger, with more benefits. Alright. That will be from leveling. You don't level up as a sheep. Not in the village, not on other maps, not while dungeon crawling, you just don't level up. The only thing that levels up with you is the weapons that you find along the way. And spells that you find along the way. They got tier 10, 11, 12, 13, and then hence they deal more damage and so on. Now speaking about those items, some items in the game have a lifesteal, some have bones, okay, ghosts that attack enemies. This would be those tarot cards that you get once you enter the dungeon. Okay, but that's a passive ability. At the start of the game, you get only one card, and as you make progress, you get more and more cards, okay, with different passive abilities. From these items, as I said, there's this gloves, fists, sword, dagger, axe, hammer. That will be from melee weapons, okay. From spells, you get a lot of different things. Most of them are shoot freaking enemies, and you deal more damage. As far as leveling and itemization goes, by the way, these fists, they got like the worst hitboxes out of all weapons. Damned and daggers. For leveling and itemization, I already said it's mobile-like. You don't need a lot of brain to play this game, to be honest. 7 out of 10. NPCs, there's a lot to do, that's why I gave 7 out of 10. I even believe it's worse, but there is a lot to do, so they put in some effort for it. Even though if it's for casual players, still there's a lot to do. And I guess casuals will get a bit lost. NPCs and enemies. Now I already said 17 bosses in total. Bestiary is quite huge. You get different enemies variety as you play. Range enemies, rush enemies, charge enemies, exploding enemies, poison enemies. Spiders that go on a ceiling then drop down on your head. Same applies for bosses. It would be 10 times better if there were better hitboxes, if dungeons were bigger, if they were more curious, more rewards, more risk and reward. Okay, everything about this freaking game is casual. It fucking screams casual, okay? Light, humor, gay. That's not roguelike, that's not roguelite, that's not survival, that's not building simulator. I don't know what it is. It's a freaking comedy. Same goes with NPCs. There are a few NPCs in a game connected to the story. Mumbo jumbo bullshit, basically, I already said was the story. Kill 4 bad guys, then kill the main bad guy. And become the main occultist lamb in the world of the cult of the lamb. Or succumb and die. So the cat becomes the main ruler of the world. It's a lamb versus a cat. Okay. Where cat is a villain. Six out of 10. Music and sound. Zero voice acting. Solid sound effects. Silly music. I mean, it fits the game. It's a silly game with silly music. Is some tune in this game actually good? Can I remember the tune in like 2 or 3 days from now? I doubt. I really doubt I can remember a single tune out of this game. It's environmental music, atmospheric music, but even though it fits the game, I won't remember a single tune. But when I better think about it, sound effects are actually brilliant. They are really good sound effects. So we got forgettable music, great sound effects, and no voice acting. That would be 8 out of 10. And I go with final verdict. 7, 34, 39. It's so freaking hot, I can't even count. 60 points. Holy fucking shit, even if I wanted to. I got the Cult of the Lamb, look what it got. Give me a fucking break, man. 6.66 out of 10. That will be... It wasn't intentional, this is the live stream, okay? Even if I wanted to, I couldn't do this. For the Cult of the Lamb, we got 6.66 out of 10. I believe it's a great score for the game, considering it's a cult. Easy game. 6.66. I gave it 60. That will be it. Silly game. Great for women, good for kids, atrocious for those that really want to play something good. Alright, atrocious. In my point of view, this is like 2 or 3 out of 10 game, if you ask me personally. Alright. If I'm to be objective, this is the score. And it fits the game. Guys, that's gonna be it. I'm dying from heat, even though it's 1:15 a.m.